We're here today at Worcester Norton Gun Club with Team Williamson and Field Sports Channel and TGS. Just trying to put a different take onto dynamic shooting, which is not normally covered by these channels. Let's see how we get on. Let's do some interviews for the day and let's have a little bit of practical shooting. Faye, that was great, quite impressive actually. It's always refreshing to see someone else coming into the industry, especially whether it's the youngsters and the ladies. Something, let's face it, the shooting industry and sport has always been almost starved of because of the access into shooting. So both your brother and your father are shooters, so I take it you just came along one day and decided you wanted to beat them, or?
Well, actually, my dad was very, very much the one who encouraged me into the sport because there wasn't any females around at that time. I actually started when I was about 12 and I started on the handguns, but not long after I started, they got banned. So I started off with rifle, doing long distance. Me and my dad used to do team trials. He'd load, I'd shoot, or vice versa. And then eventually when the practical shotgun started to take off 4 or 5 years ago, that was when my brother got involved. And then again, they encouraged me and said, come on, Faye, you need to do it. There's no female.
I must admit, the way the whole Team Williamson, the way they conduct themselves and promote, not themselves first, but the sport first.
Yeah.
I think that is one of the things that really helps in partnership with Viking and Mossberg.
Yeah.
And your family are the first official people that were ever sponsored by Mossberg in the UK.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
So that's an achievement on its own, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so.
The first people, and you've done exceptionally well. The guns have worked really well.
Mm-hmm.
It was a new product that came over. You were the first people to actually have them delivered as well. So it's been very, very good. But it was just such an eye-opener. I was saying to your father earlier how everyone adapts and has their gun slightly differently just to try and give them the edge, because one drop target, one issue with a gun, and that's the whole competition gone.
Yeah, it can, absolutely. Yeah. So, for instance, for me, in comparison to my brothers and dad's guns, they've altered their stock.
Yeah.
I haven't done this yet, so I, at the moment, have a tendency I'm tuning a little bit low, and it's because I haven't made the alteration. So this has to be tailored to my shooting abilities, and but yeah, you'll notice the difference even with the way that we've taken the side out and opened it all up.
Yeah. There. So everyone's different, but everyone's frame's different. We were talking earlier about the speed loading bags.
Oh yeah.
How if you have a larger frame, it's going to be a lot easier to put more on there because you've got a bigger canvas to work off, haven't you?
Whereas I haven't.
So someone as slim as yourself is going to make it quite tricky.
Yeah.
I would have the same issue.
Yeah.
I just think it's really great to actually meet people like yourself and see how dedicated you are to, Mossberg, to Ely, your other sponsors. I think for them to invest in you as well, I think that
it was quite overwhelming, to be honest, when they said they wanted to sponsor us. It was no pressure, but like you said earlier, we touched on the fact that for us it is a family sport, and it's not just for us in the Williamson family. It goes for everybody involved in our club, everybody that we meet on shoots. It's like shooting with a big family, and that's the thing that we love the most about the sport. It's not just about the competitions and winning medals. It's about the community spirit that you get with it.
So everyone's got to travel to get there. So there's a lot of dedication. It's not just like game shooting where people travel. No. I think this sport, and it has been a real educational trip for me today. Mm-hmm. Not just meeting the family and seeing the extra dedication that goes into things, but certain things that I failed to understand personally, even after many years of shooting, have now come to light. Okay. It's like a lot of things, isn't it? I see the issue now with somebody who needs the fork slightly bigger, or the magazine. So you might have a slightly shorter magazine to James, because if he has an extra 2 that'll make a big difference in your balance.
For the modified division as well, you can get away with that, whereas standard division, it doesn't matter how big my tube is, I'm set to a limit of how many I can load at the beginning of the stage. So it's,
And what is the
It's
limit?
not different. So for me, it's 9. I'm not
Okay.
allowed to start with more than 9. Whereas modified, he can put more in.
And he has 14
He
in
can put
his, isn't
14
he?
in.
So that's almost like cheating, isn't it?
A little bit.
Yeah. No, you're more of a, almost like a traditionalist in the practical side. So no, I just think it's great. I think the way the profile of shooting sports, and this part of it is practical shooting or dynamic shooting. I think it's now moving its
into
name to dynamic shooting, which I think suits it very
Yeah.
well. I think it's really, really good. I just think yourself could
Like you said, it's not just about us; it's about the sponsors as well,
sport,
'cause it's
the sponsorship, the sport,
we're
bringing other
representing
people in.
them
And I think as a family and a team, I think you will inspire other people to come up and encourage them into trying it. Especially, not me now, because you've beaten me twice and it's a bit of a sore point. So I just don't like being beaten. But
not many people do.
this is really competitive, and it's a lot more competitive than I ever imagined. And I'm quite a competitive person. I thought I'd just dismiss it, but no, it's like.
But even though it's competitive, people are so helpful. You come off the stage and they come over and they give you tips. Oh, if you just did this differently, or you want to watch a load.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to the next 6 months, the next 6 years with Team Williamson.
Yeah, that's it.
Your dad's already saying that there's another league coming up, so another league. Was it Super Seniors or something?
Super Seniors, I think.
Yeah, it's going to. There'll be something there for everyone.
Yeah,
I think it's really great.
It's a very accommodating sport.
Marvellous. Faye, as always, thank you very much.
Thank you.